All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Exertis Broadcast podcast. I'm your host, Nick Smith. Joined with me again today is Mr. Joshua Kelly, and live on Skype, Mr. Rick Paleo from the Pacific Northwest.
Parts unknown.
Oh, you're right. I'm not allowed to say. He's in a cabin in the woods. It's amazing you have internet out there. I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
All right. If you caught us on the last episode, we talked a lot about how to choose the correct TriCaster, how many inputs, how many outputs, DSKs, all the features that go into making a correct decision. If you didn't catch it, well, it's a podcast, so just get it on demand. And don't forget to grab your can of NewTek high energy drink. Delicious and nutritious. All right. Today, though, I want to talk about things you can add onto your TriCaster, because obviously getting a TriCaster is half the story. But what are the accessories? What are the other pieces that kind of flesh out the full workflow? So kind of right out of the gate, Josh, what is like your go-to for customers when they say, I want a TriCaster?
Well, outside of having the control surface, it just gives them a more of a tactile feel to switching. Mm-hmm. See that, they're able to, press a physical button and see a physical switch, as well as those, you're going to have more control over these PTZ cameras if, camera adjustments are something that you want to integrate into a live production. The UI can sometimes be finicky, or a camera might be more sensitive to another camera. So being able to have, a controller there as well can be
physical controller.
Make a huge difference.
And especially the speed of a mouse, like trying to time a T-bar on a mouse versus, using the actual T-bar on a controller, especially if you're drinking too many of NewTek's energy drinks.
Just shaking all over the place.
16 milligrams of caffeine in every can at stores near you starting tomorrow. No, I think that's important. Rick, what are your sort of go-tos when you first start talking to clients?
Get yourself a Spark.
Oh, get a Spark. Sparks are everywhere.
You have baseband video in and NDI out, and there you go.
Yeah, and it's a great little box. It's PoE enabled. It's small. You can hang it anywhere. It's a great way to, we often talk to like teachers who don't want to deal with NDI software, right? Well, you just throw a Spark under the table. Nobody ever knows. They just plug in the HDMI cable just like normal. Right. And you're up and running and you've got your source. So it's an easy one. Jordan, go ahead. Mixmaster Jordan. Friday, everybody's going to bring up the slide deck. So today, so first, right out of the gate, like a go-to is the NewTek PTZ camera, because what is a TriCaster without sources? What is a source without a camera? So, we do want to bring, NewTek has two cameras available, a 4K and a 1080p, both completely NDI. And so they're literally plug and play. Your TriCaster will find them the moment they hit the network. So easy to use. The next one, we talked a little bit last time about the talk show. Well, no, we didn't talk about talk show. We talked about Skype integration. Now, for those wanting to do a completely remote show, the Talk Show 4000 gives you 4 additional Skype channels, and they're each independent, mix minus callers. So it's just a great way to bring in additional remote guests without a ton of hardware. It's literally a box. You throw it on the network. And then both of you tagged on this next piece. So Josh, I'll let you take that one.
With the control surface, I mean, I have seen that, the control surface be, a tool that for some people who are, looking at the UI, and it's something that can feel overwhelming at times. And this is a whole other different conversation, because we'll talk a live panel, and making that workflow look less, daunting for someone who is maybe just, new to the scene. So with a control surface, you can see, and have like more of a tactile feel that you can say, okay, my brain makes a connection that this button means this camera, and not just a mouse click, and not just a drop down window. And sometimes, you click, a TriCaster button, and a thing might disappear, a slide might, pop up, the control surface, and
the
physical,
never changes,
not going
right?
nowhere. Yeah. Hey, that button's always going to stay in that button. So that's where I think the control surface is a huge push.
Well, and there are different sizes as well. So keep in mind, like the one on screen there is the 2ME. It's the more oh no, that's the 4ME. We chose nice job, Jordan. You chose the big one. That's right. So there are different versions, different sizes, depending on how complicated your production, how big of a, daunting piece of hardware in front of you. Either way, let's go. So next is we're moving to IO. And so this one, really, Rick, you already called out the Spark. And the fact that you've got these very small little hockey pucks that are, you can kind of throw anywhere. Why don't you go ahead and throw us to the NC2? And I want you to talk about that one for a minute. What is it and why would somebody need it?
For me?
Yes,
You want me
please.
to jump
Yeah,
in
no,
on that?
I would like
Okay.
I would like
All
you to-
right.
All right, everybody, hold on. Let's do that retake one more time.
Yes.
Rick, why don't you take the NC2? Thank you, Jordan. I'd like you to talk about the NC2 IO module and kind of tell people why they might want one or need one. And don't cut that out. I love that moment right there. No edits in a podcast. It's done live, ladies and gentlemen.
So, all right. Thank you, Nick. The NC2 IO module is it's a new add-on, and it allows you to bring in additional SDI sources into your TriCaster, into any TriCaster. Now, the beauty about the new NC2 IO is that it has 8 SDI spigots, and you could have 8 3G SDI. You could have a number of 12G SDI, and according to the specs, you could even have 6G SDI for those inclined to go all Sony all the time. So it is bidirectional, and you can configure all 8 as 3G SDI inputs, or you can mix and match 6 in, 2 out, 4 in, 4 out. It really adds to that, especially if your facility does have an already established SDI infrastructure. Can't go wrong with it. If you got SDI running all over your facility, plug it in, and now you could flip it into NDI. And the beauty of it being bidirectional is that you can send it into your router and send it out of your router, standard SDI router, as whichever flavor that you need, in, out, 12G, 3G, 6G.
Yeah, and this is the
Pretty
first
cool.
one. This is the first one that supports all the way up to 4K. Now you do lose some of your channel count when you move to 4K.
Yes.
Some of the overhead, we're limited in channels when we do that. So those configurations change a little bit, but it's still pretty awesome that we now have a full 12G SDI encoder for those facilities that have some, SDI floating around. Now, I will throw one more, is 2 of these together, you could actually, if you're working in a large campus, a large environment where you've got maybe, multiple facilities, you can use this to create your NDI feeds, let's say out in a stadium, right? And then backhaul that back to the control room, or have 2 of them and use it to backhaul content from one side of campus to the other, from, the 12th floor down to the first floor, just by utilizing the network. And so you can get 8 SDI in and 8 SDI out on the other, or mix and match, go 4x4. So you can create a really interesting routing solution between 2 of these. That is pretty awesome. All right, now Joshua, I think this last who threw Virtual Set Editor on
I
the
think
list?
I wanted that one on.
Oh, okay. Well, then this is yours.
Yeah,
Talk about it.
This is me, because this is where I think that the TriCaster separates itself from just being a production switcher. I think Rick was the first one to kind of coin this term, is that it's an engagement tool. Beyond, gone are the days, in my opinion, that just a standard wide angle shot is going to captivate an audience. It's going to keep, people of the younger generation saying, oh, I was really impressed, or I need to tell my friends about, the production value that I saw, at whether it's a church or a performance or a show. A tool like the Virtual Set Editor, where you can bring in your talent, whether it's on a green screen, and it builds, an environment that is not only engaging, but it can help tell a better story within the space that you're in.
Okay, so Virtual Set Editor is literally a virtual, it's for editing those virtual sets. So a customer who buys this, it says it in the name, ladies and gentlemen, Virtual Set Editor. So with Virtual Set Editor, and this is a software add-on to your TriCaster, and it allows you to customize your own virtual set, bring in your own backgrounds, foregrounds. You can even take a panoramic photo and bring it in and turn that into a virtual set. So pretty powerful little tool, and it allows you to just take your TriCaster to the next level, just like the NewTek energy drink. Take your switching.
We're about to get like
next
4
level.
or 5 boxes of those shipped to us next week.
There's no doubt about it. All right, next slide, please, Mixmaster Jordan. All right, so here's 2 pieces. Now these are oft overlooked and somewhat niche, in the world. So first and foremost, the 3-play. Rick, what in the world is a 3-play?
3-play is NewTek's replay solution. If you're doing any type of sporting event, I mentioned Formula One in a previous episode, you need to have the ability to replay certain events out of that sporting event, and 3-play does that, and it is a fantastic tool that lets you grab the action, modify the clips, organize the clips, and be able to play them back in an interface that is a dream to work with.
Yeah, so I mean, so whenever you're watching, football on Sunday nights, go Packers. Oh, you beat the Niners. Anyway, whenever you're watching football on Sunday night and you're watching those replays, there's a replay system sitting behind this, right? When we'll watch that last play over again, and so that's where the 3-play fits in. Now, what's strange about it is it actually has 4 to 8 inputs, depending on 8 inputs. So it's, I want to call it the A play, but it's not the 3-play. But it is a great device, definitely sort of focused on that sports market vertical first. However, we've seen clients use them for just multi-channel recording, right? Where they want more of a DVR experience, like if it's a simulation lab or a test environment where they've just got, say, a bunch of cameras coming in and they want to record those simultaneously and then go back and pull apart that content. So there are some really unique opportunities to use that in places I think that some people don't always think of more than sports. All right, slide me if you would. Here we go. Last one. Oh, this is one of my favorites. NewTek remote storage. I'm going to go ahead and tackle this one.
Yes.
So I think one of the most overlooked pieces is, where am I going to put all the content we're generating? Especially in an environment like today, we're recording 5 different streams simultaneously. Yes, we're producing that show, but we're going to record all this content. Where does it go after? Because eventually my TriCaster fills up. So NewTek partnered with a company called SNS to create a storage appliance that connects to your TriCaster over the network, just like the NDI. And there's a couple things it does. The first and foremost, it's pure storage. It's got a ton of space for all your content. It's fast storage that your editors can directly work off of, so they don't need to download media to their, to a stick or a hard drive, right? They can work right off of the NRS. And most importantly, it natively records NDI with the touch of a button. In fact, you can tell your TriCaster to record the NDI and do the work for you. So it's a really clean solution for just gathering all your content. It's got a great viewer in it later for tagging the media, searching the media, finding the media, and it plays nice with all the NLEs. So there's a lot to say about this, but I think it's just one that's overlooked by most of our dealers to say, they think about the TriCaster, but they don't think about where to put the stuff afterwards.
Right. I mean, there's a whole post to just turning a live stream on. It's not, you could have that live, and just be live and gone, or you're going to put that back on storage. And then maybe a year from now, you want to recall a special moment that happened during a live stream. We see this all the time in sports where, the NFL or, the MLB pulls up a clip from 1964 and you go, how are they doing this? How? Yeah. The storage right here.
Yeah, the storage, because it's got a man built right into it. We need to have a, Mixmaster Jordan, we need to have Kane Peterson on in an upcoming episode to talk about the different APIs, because he's got a great script that actually allows the storage user to create a bin of clips, and then the TriCaster will recall that bin right off of storage and make it available to the DVR. It's a really cool workflow.
There's a couple of other things that need to be said about the SNS Evo, the SNS NewTek NRS. And number one, yes, you can capture all of these sources live, and you have all these sources, but the NRS is high performance storage. That means that you can hang a number of your post-production solutions, whether it is Adobe Premiere, Avid Media Composer, or some other product made by Apple, which shall not be named. But the fact of the matter is that the thing about shared storage and high performance shared storage is that single media clip or a number of those media clips can be shared across a number of editorial workstations. So you're increasing your productivity and being able to create your post-production content quicker and more efficiently. It's been out there. I mean, shared storage has been around for a really long time, but this is amazing that I could actually capture quickly and efficiently live footage via NDI right off the camera, right into shared storage, and being able to edit it quickly and efficiently with multiple editors. So that's something really key to keep in mind.
Clean and simple. I like it. All right. I'm going to call this one good. Big thanks again to our sponsor, NewTek, with their ultra high def streaming demon cocktail here. This is good. I'm serious. Which one of you is going to drink this? We're going to take bets on this. In fact, we should put a camera on it.
It sounds like you've been drinking it. It sounds like you've already had a couple of cans.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're missing the show, Joshua opened his and it blew up on him. That was probably the one I was playing with. So, hey, listen, we're going to call this show a wrap as we get some paper towels to clean this up. I want to say thanks to Jordan for running the console today. Thanks to Rick for dialing in local. And thanks for Joshua who's going to slurp this off the table.
Yeah, let's cut the cameras. We take care of this.
All right. And again, we'll see you on the next episode of the Exertis Broadcast podcast.